The greatest poverty is not in the wallet, it's in the mind. You can take a millionaire, strip him of every dollar, and within years he'll be wealthy again. But give a poor thinker a fortune, and soon enough, he'll be broke. Why? Because wealth is not about what you have, it's about who you've become. And if you don't change how you think, you'll never escape the prison of lack, no matter how hard you work. Some people spend their lives waiting for wealth. Others spend their lives creating it. The question is, which one are you? The poor thinker blames circumstances. The rich thinker takes control. The poor thinker sees obstacles. The rich thinker sees opportunity. Same world, different vision. If you want to change your reality, stop thinking like the 97% who stay broke. Because life doesn't care about excuses, only results. If you were given $1 million today, would you know how to turn it into 10 million? Or would you lose it faster than you got it? The poor thinker spends, the rich thinker multiplies. The poor complain, the rich strategize. One mindset leads to a lifetime of struggle. The other leads to generational wealth. So the real question is, are your daily habits making you rich or keeping you poor? If there's one thing that separates those who build wealth from those who struggle, it's the mindset they choose. The wealthy don't sit still. They don't accept their current knowledge, skills, or circumstances as permanent. They believe in growth, in improvement, in becoming more than they were yesterday. If you want to manage money wisely and build wealth, the first thing you must do is adopt a growth mindset. That means committing to lifelong learning, challenging your own limitations, and developing the disciplines that lead to financial success. Some people believe that success is a matter of luck, that wealth belongs to a chosen few, or that no matter how hard they try, they'll never get ahead. That kind of thinking keeps a person stuck. The truth is, wealth is a result of becoming the kind of person who can attract and manage it. You don't get rich by wishing for it. You get rich by developing yourself into someone who deserves it. The key is growth. I remember a young man who came up to me after a seminar. He said, "I want to be successful, but I just don't think I have what it takes." I asked him, "Have you read a single book on personal development in the last 6 months?" He looked down and said, "No." I asked, "Have you sought out mentors, learned from people who've done what you want to do?" Again, the answer was no. So I told him, "Your problem isn't that you lack what it takes. Your problem is that you haven't committed to becoming the kind of person who succeeds." Wealthy people understand that learning is a lifelong process. They don't stop once they finish school. They continue growing, expanding their knowledge and improving their skills. It's no accident that some of the wealthiest people in the world are also some of the most well-read. Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors of all time, has said he spends 80% of his day reading. Why? Because knowledge compounds just like money does. The more you learn, the more you earn. And it's not just about money, it's about mindset. The poor mindset says, "I already know enough. I don't need to learn anything new." The wealthy mindset says, "There's always more to learn. The more I grow, the more valuable I become." That shift in thinking is what determines whether someone stays where they are or moves toward financial success. One of the most powerful lessons I ever learned was that if you want to change your income, you have to change yourself. If you're making $50,000 a year, it's because that's the level of value you're currently bringing to the marketplace. If you want to make $100,000, $500,000, or even $1 million a year, you have to become the kind of person who can bring that much value. That means developing new skills, expanding your knowledge, and thinking in ways you've never thought before. It starts with small habits. Read a book a month on finance, business, or personal development. Listen to audio programs while you're driving instead of wasting time on mindless entertainment. Seek out people who are more successful than you and learn from them. The people you spend time with will either push you forward or hold you back. Surround yourself with those who challenge you to think bigger, to learn more, and to reach higher. A man once told me, "I don't have time to read or learn new things." I said, "Then you don't have time to succeed." The difference between wealthy people and poor people is that the wealthy make time for growth. They see learning as an investment, not an expense. Let me tell you about another young man I met. He was working a regular job, making just enough to get by, but he had a hunger to grow. He started reading books on business and investing. He took courses he learned from mentors. Over time, he gained new skills, applied them, and started a business. Today, he's financially independent, all because he committed to a growth mindset. He didn't wait for someone to hand him an opportunity. He created it by becoming better every single day. Your income will never grow beyond your personal growth. If you stay the same, your finances will stay the same. But if you commit to learning, if you make it a habit to develop your mind, your skills, and your ability to provide value, there's no limit to what you can achieve. So, if you want to manage money wisely and build wealth, start by managing your own growth. Read, learn, improve, and never stop becoming more than you were yesterday. Wealth isn't just about money. It's about who you become. And when you become more, you will inevitably attract more. Wealth isn't a sprint. It's not something you stumble upon overnight. It's built step by step, decision by decision over time. The problem is most people want wealth instantly. They want results today without putting in the years of discipline, the years of effort, the years of learning that it takes. But here's the truth. Every great fortune, every financial success story is the result of long-term thinking. It's the ability to plant seeds today and be patient enough to let them grow. Most people are trapped in short-term thinking. They chase fast money, get-rich-quick schemes, and short-lived opportunities, only to find themselves stuck in the same financial struggle year after year. Why? Because they never took the time to build something lasting. The wealthy think differently. They ask themselves, where will this decision take me in 5 years, 10 years, 20? They understand that wealth is not about quick wins, it's about steady progress. Imagine two people start working the same job today. One spends every paycheck living for the weekend, buying things that make him look rich but keep him broke. The other saves a portion of his income, invests it wisely, and focuses on growing his skills. 5 years later, one is stuck in the same cycle, while the other is on the path to financial freedom. The difference? One was thinking about Friday night, the other was thinking about his future. A farmer doesn't plant a seed today and expect a harvest tomorrow. He knows that growth takes time, that the seasons must pass, and that patience is required. Wealth works the same way. You have to plant financial seeds, invest in assets, build valuable skills, develop good habits, and then give them time to grow. It's not magic, but it is predictable. The question is, are you willing to wait? Are you willing to make sacrifices today for a better tomorrow? That's the mindset that builds wealth. Most people never get rich because they are unwilling to trade short-term pleasure for long-term success. They would rather have comfort today than freedom tomorrow. This is why the rich take calculated risks. They understand that every decision carries a consequence, and they take the time to weigh their options. They don't jump into opportunities blindly, but they don't avoid them out of fear either. They study, they analyze, and then they move with confidence. Most people never take risks because they are afraid of failure. But what they don't realize is that not taking a risk is the biggest risk of all. Playing it safe often leads to a lifetime of mediocrity, while those who are willing to take smart, calculated risks position themselves for success. Think about this. If you never take a chance, how will you ever grow? How will you ever achieve more? If you want wealth, you have to be willing to step outside of your comfort zone. You have to be willing to make bold moves, even when you're uncertain. But don't mistake recklessness for risk-taking. The wealthy don't gamble. They study, they plan, and they prepare. Before they invest in a business, they do their research. Before they take on a new opportunity, they make sure the numbers add up. They don't make decisions based on emotions. They make decisions based on strategy. There's a reason why some people struggle financially their entire lives, while others rise to great wealth. It's not luck. It's not chance. It's mindset. The wealthy think differently, they act differently, and they make different choices. If you want to achieve financial success, you have to adopt the habits, the discipline, and the mindset that creates wealth. And it all starts with thinking long-term and mastering the art of decision-making. Money is one of the most misunderstood subjects in the world. People fear it, they chase it, they blame it, and some even despise it. But here's the truth. Money is just a tool. Nothing more, nothing less. And like any tool, it can build something great or it can be wasted. A hammer can build a house, but it can also break a window. A knife can prepare a meal, but it can also cause harm. It's not the tool that matters, it's how you use it. Some people grow up believing that money is evil. They hear phrases like money changes people or rich people are greedy, and without even realizing it, they adopt a mindset that pushes wealth away. But here's what you need to understand. Money doesn't change people, it reveals who they really are. If someone is generous, money will allow them to be more generous. If someone is selfish, money will magnify that selfishness. The problem is never money. The problem is how people think about it. The moment you start seeing money as a tool instead of an enemy, everything changes. Imagine if a carpenter was afraid of his hammer. He wouldn't be able to build anything, right? The same goes for wealth. If you're afraid of money, if you see it as something evil or dangerous, you'll never attract it. You'll never hold on to it. Instead, you have to start thinking like a builder. See money for what it is, a resource that can help you create a better life. Now, how do you change your relationship with money? It starts with education. The wealthy understand money because they study it. They learn how it works, how to make it, how to multiply it, and how to keep it. The average person, on the other hand, avoids the topic altogether. They never take the time to understand how to invest, how to budget, or how to grow their income. And because they don't understand money, they fear it. But the moment you start learning about money, the fear disappears. You start to see patterns. You start to recognize opportunities. You begin to realize that money isn't about luck. It's about knowledge and discipline. Take investing, for example. Most people think investing is risky, so they avoid it. But here's the reality. Keeping all your money in a savings account is far riskier. Inflation eats away at your money every single day. What you could buy for $1 today will cost more tomorrow. That means if you're not growing your money, you're losing it. The wealthy understand this, which is why they put their money to work. They invest in assets that appreciate over time, stocks, real estate, businesses. They understand that money is meant to flow, to grow, to be used wisely. But here's where most people go wrong. They work hard for money, but they never make money work for them. They trade their time for a paycheck, but they never build something that generates income on its own. They fear losing money, so they avoid opportunities that could actually make them rich. But understand this. Every wealthy person has had moments of loss. They've made bad investments. They've taken risks that didn't pay off. But they learned from those experiences. They adjusted their strategies. They kept going. That's the difference between those who build wealth and those who stay stuck. One group learns and grows, while the other lets fear control their decisions. Now let's talk about a common mistake. The habit of spending money emotionally. Have you ever noticed how some people get a raise and immediately upgrade their lifestyle? They get a little extra cash and suddenly they need a new car, a bigger house, or a fancy vacation. But here's what the wealthy do differently. They don't spend based on emotions. They spend based on strategy. They don't buy things to impress others. They buy things that increase in value. They delay gratification. They understand that wealth isn't about how much you earn, it's about how much you keep and how well you invest. Think about it. Two people can earn the same income, but one ends up wealthy while the other struggles financially. Why? Because one understands money and the other doesn't. One builds assets while the other builds liabilities. One makes decisions based on long-term growth, while the other makes decisions based on short-term pleasure. If you want to change your financial future, start by changing the way you see money. Stop treating it like something that controls you and start using it as a tool to create the life you want. Learn how to manage it, how to invest it, how to multiply it, and most importantly, stop thinking like the poor, start thinking like the wealthy. Because wealth isn't just about money, it's about mindset. Change your mindset and you'll change your life. Most people are stuck in a cycle they don't even realize they're trapped in. They wake up, go to work, trade their hours for a paycheck, and then repeat the process day after day, year after year. And they wonder why they never get ahead. It's because they've been taught a simple equation that keeps them limited. Time equals money. But that equation has a major flaw. Your time is finite. There are only so many hours in a day, so if the only way you earn is by trading time, you've put a ceiling on your income. Wealthy people understand something that most never learn. Money should work for you, not the other way around. If all you do is exchange your time for money, you will always be stuck in a cycle of survival. You have to break free from that mindset. Instead of thinking, how can I make more money by working more hours? Ask yourself, how can I make money even when I'm not working? That's the real secret. It's not about working harder. It's about working smarter. There's a reason why people who rely solely on a paycheck struggle financially. The moment they stop working, their income stops. If an emergency happens, if they lose their job, if they get sick, the money flow dries up. But those who understand wealth creation set up income streams that don't depend on their time. They create businesses, they invest in assets, they build systems that generate income without needing them to be present every minute of the day. That's the difference between staying broke and becoming financially free. Think about it. Every wealthy person has multiple streams of income. They don't just rely on one source. They have businesses, investments, real estate, dividends, royalties. They understand that security doesn't come from a job. It comes from having multiple ways for money to flow into their life. The average person, on the other hand, relies on one paycheck, one source. And that's why most people live in fear. Fear of losing their job, fear of unexpected expenses, fear of financial hardship. But when you create multiple income streams, you remove that fear because you're no longer dependent on just one source. Let's say you have a job. That's one income stream. But what if you also start a side business? Now you have two. What if you take a portion of your income and invest it in stocks that pay dividends? That's three. What if you write a book or create a course or own rental properties? Suddenly, money is coming in from different places. And here's the best part. Some of those streams don't require your time every day. You set them up once, and they keep working for you. Now, does this mean you quit your job immediately? No. It means you start thinking differently. Instead of being comfortable with just one paycheck, start looking for ways to create more. Use your free time wisely. Learn new skills. Build something of your own. Invest in assets that grow over time. The people who stay poor are the ones who spend all their money and all their time just surviving. The people who get rich are the ones who take what they have and find ways to multiply it. One of the biggest shifts in thinking that leads to wealth is this. Stop focusing on just earning money and start focusing on solving problems. That's where real wealth is created. The marketplace rewards people who provide value, who solve real problems. Look around. Every successful business exists because it solves a problem. If you want to make more money, stop asking, how can I get paid more? And start asking, what problem can I solve? People who focus only on earning tend to stay stuck. They want a raise, they want a higher paying job, but they don't ask themselves, how can I increase my value? The truth is, the marketplace doesn't care about what you want. It rewards value. The more problems you solve, the more valuable you become. And the more valuable you become, the more money you make. Take a look at entrepreneurs who started with nothing and built wealth. They didn't sit around waiting for someone to pay them more. They found a problem, solved it, and created a business around it. They saw an opportunity where others saw obstacles. They took risks. They built systems, and that's why they became wealthy. Most people make the mistake of thinking that wealth is about working harder, but it's not about working harder. It's about working smarter. If you spend your whole life trading time for money, you'll never have the freedom you want. But if you create multiple streams of income and focus on solving problems, money will flow to you in ways you never imagined. It's time to shift your mindset. Stop thinking like the poor who rely on a single paycheck and complain about their circumstances. Start thinking like the wealthy who build income streams and create value. Because the moment you do that, everything changes. Most people never realize that the way they present themselves to the world determines the opportunities that come their way. They think that success is all about skills, experience, or intelligence. But there's something even more important: your ability to sell. Because no matter how smart or talented you are, if you can't communicate your value, if you can't get people to believe in what you have to offer, you'll always struggle to get ahead. Selling isn't just about business, it's about life. Every time you walk into a room, every time you meet someone new, every time you have a conversation, you're selling something. Your ideas, your abilities, your vision. People who understand this create opportunities for themselves. They know how to speak with confidence, how to influence, how to inspire action. And that's why they succeed. Look around at the people who thrive in any field. They're not necessarily the most skilled. They're not necessarily the most educated. But they know how to sell. They know how to communicate in a way that makes others want to listen. That's what sets them apart. Most people make the mistake of thinking that confidence is something you're born with. But that's not true. Confidence is something you build. It's a habit. Just like any other skill, it can be developed. And the fastest way to build confidence is to practice putting yourself out there. Speak up in meetings. Start conversations with people you don't know. Share your ideas, even when you're unsure how they'll be received. The more you do this, the more natural it becomes. But confidence alone isn't enough. You also have to back it up with substance. That means constantly improving yourself, learning new skills, becoming more valuable. Because confidence without value is just empty talk. People see right through it. But confidence backed by competence, that's powerful. That's what opens doors. Now, once you've mastered selling yourself, you need to understand another key principle. Wealth isn't something that happens overnight. It's not about one big breakthrough. It's about the small, consistent actions you take every single day. Because wealth isn't just about money. It's about habits. Most people think that if they could just get a higher paying job or win the lottery or stumble on some great business idea, then they'd be rich. But that's not how it works. If you don't have the right money habits, it doesn't matter how much you make, you'll always find a way to lose it. Look at lottery winners. Most of them go broke within a few years. Why? Because they never built the habits of wealth. They never learned how to manage money, how to invest, how to make smart financial decisions. They got money, but they didn't know how to keep it. And that's why they lost it all. On the other hand, look at people who build wealth from the ground up. They develop strong money habits early on. They learn to save before they spend. They invest wisely. They avoid unnecessary debt. They live below their means, even when they start making more. And because of these habits, their wealth grows over time. It all starts with discipline. If you can't manage a small amount of money, you won't be able to manage a large amount either. Some people say, I'll start saving when I make more. But that's a lie they tell themselves. Because saving isn't about how much you make. It's about how you manage what you already have. If you develop the habit of setting aside a portion of your income now, even if it's a small amount, you're training yourself for future wealth. And once that habit is in place, it becomes automatic. You don't even have to think about it. But if you keep telling yourself that you'll start later, guess what? Later never comes. And wealth isn't just about saving, it's also about investing. You have to put your money to work, because if all you do is save, inflation eats away at your wealth over time. The key is to invest in things that grow. Stocks, businesses, real estate, assets that increase in value. That's how wealth multiplies. Now, some people avoid investing because they're afraid of losing money. But here's the truth. There's risk in everything. There's risk in investing, but there's also risk in doing nothing. Because if you do nothing, you guarantee that you'll stay where you are. The wealthy understand this. They take calculated risks. They educate themselves. They make informed decisions. And because of that, they grow their money instead of just holding on to it. Another crucial habit of wealthy people is avoiding unnecessary debt. They don't buy things they can't afford just to impress others. They don't live paycheck to paycheck because of poor spending choices. They understand that financial freedom comes from controlling your money, not letting your money control you. But most people live the opposite way. They spend money they don't have on things they don't need to impress people who don't care. And then they wonder why they're always struggling. The truth is, wealth isn't about looking rich. It's about actually being rich. And being rich comes from good money habits. It doesn't matter where you are right now, whether you have a lot or a little, whether you're struggling or just getting started. The key is to develop the habits of wealth now. Start managing your money wisely. Start making smart financial decisions. Start building confidence and selling yourself effectively. Because when you do, opportunities open up, income increases, and wealth becomes a natural result. Most people live their entire lives in a comfort zone, accepting whatever life hands them. They never question if they could do more, be more, or have more. They settle for average, for just enough, for whatever is easy. And because of that, they never experience the life they were truly capable of living. If you want to achieve wealth, if you want to build something meaningful, you have to stop settling. You have to keep raising your standards. Everything in life rises or falls to the level of your standards. If you accept low wages, you'll always earn low wages. If you tolerate bad habits, you'll always struggle to break free from them. If you allow yourself to make excuses, you'll always find reasons why success isn't possible for you. But the moment you decide that you will no longer accept anything less than excellence, everything starts to change. Think about the people who achieve great wealth. They don't settle for just getting by. They don't accept being financially stuck. They demand more from themselves. They demand more from their time, their skills, their opportunities. And because their standards are higher, their results are greater. If you want to see where someone's life is headed, just look at their daily habits. Look at how they manage their time. Look at the kind of books they read, the kind of people they surround themselves with. Because these small details reveal the standards they've set for themselves. And if those standards are low, their results will always be low. Now, raising your standards doesn't mean making unrealistic demands. It doesn't mean expecting to go from broke to millionaire overnight. But it does mean deciding that you will no longer accept mediocrity in your life. It means setting goals that challenge you, pushing yourself to grow, refusing to stay the same. Years ago, I met a man who was struggling financially. He worked hard, but he was always broke. And when I asked him about his goals, he said, "I just want to make enough to pay my bills." And that's exactly what he got. Just enough to pay his bills, because that's the standard he had set for himself. But when he changed that mindset, when he started aiming higher, learning new skills, looking for better opportunities, everything shifted. His income grew, his lifestyle improved, not because he worked harder, but because he raised his standards. That's how it works. The life you have right now is a direct reflection of what you've been willing to accept. If you want to change your life, change what you're willing to accept. Raise your standards in your finances, your mindset, your personal growth. Demand more from yourself. And when you do, you'll start to see new opportunities, new possibilities, and a new level of success unfold before you. We've covered a lot. We've talked about how to manage money, how to build wealth, how to shift your mindset from scarcity to abundance. But none of this will matter if it stays just words. None of this will change your life unless you take action. Most people will listen to a speech like this, feel inspired for a moment, and then go back to their old habits. They'll go back to wasting money, procrastinating on their goals, making excuses for why wealth isn't possible for them. But a few, just a few, will make a decision today. They'll decide that from this moment forward, things will be different. And that's what I'm asking you to do right now. Decide. Decide that you will no longer let your old mindset hold you back. Decide that you will take control of your finances, your habits, your choices. Decide that you will no longer settle for an average life when an extraordinary life is possible, because that's what wealth is. It's not just money in the bank. It's the ability to live life on your terms. It's freedom. It's security. It's the power to make a difference, to take care of the people you love, to create a legacy that lasts. but it all starts with action. If you've been careless with money, start today by taking control of where your dollars go. If you've been afraid to invest in yourself, start today by reading a book, learning a new skill, surrounding yourself with people who challenge you to grow. If you've been playing it safe, start today by taking a small risk that moves you forward. Because time is passing either way. 5 years from now, you'll arrive. The question is, where? Will you arrive at a destination of wealth, of opportunity, of success? Or will you arrive at the same place you are today, still struggling, still wondering why nothing has changed? The answer is in your hands. You have everything you need, the knowledge, the opportunity, the ability. The only thing left is for you to take action. So do it. Start now, because wealth isn't just something that happens to lucky people. Wealth is built by those who make a decision, take responsibility, and refuse to settle.